And we're live. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Technoid. That's what everybody calls me nowadays. My real name is Mike, but everybody calls me Technoid. That's the name of the show I run, but that's what you do nowadays. Welcome back, everybody. Tonight is a nice live stream. We're going to wait and see how many people we have in here in the house. I will start doing some name calls. I will check in who we have. But thank you all for coming in. Thank you for coming on tonight. I have an update on my condition in terms of how bad my fracture is. I will update you guys when I'll be back making videos. So let's see who we got in the house. We got Bob in the house. Congratulations, Bob. You have been promoted to moderator. We got Raph in the house, as always. My trusty Raph. Miss you, Raph. Godzilla Mania is in the house. Good to have you on, Gotti. Tom, it's good to see you. Thank you for coming on. Tito or Nicholas. Maybe later. I'll try to see if you can add me on social media if you'd like. Add me on Twitter at Technoid12, and I will happily send you the link, and you can come on later if you'd like. Thank you for letting me know, Raph. It's good we have good audio and visual. Good to have you on, Tito. And good to have you on as well, Nicholas. And it looks like that's all we have in for now. So we're going to wait a couple more minutes. I'm just going to set up here. But while we wait, I'm going to update you guys. So as you know, unfortunately, I fractured my ligament. It's not a severe fracture. It is just inflamed, and also it just requires a little less weight on the joint. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to take some time away to heal up. So I will be doing live streams. I will definitely be doing some things here and there, but I will not be making a lot of real episodes of Technoid where I film them and take the time to edit, because it's going to require me to go up and down the stairs to move everything, and it does take a little bit of time. However, I'm going to let my leg heal up. By next week, end of next week, I should be good to go. I will be back on with a live stream. Looks like we might have a guest in the house, but before then, Jose, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. And I want to wish you a speedy recovery. Thank you, Jose. I really do appreciate it. And no worries, Tom. We'll be here for a while. Now, I did not know this was happening. I did send out the link, but I'd like to announce we do have a visitor. We have a guest. We got. All right. All right. I'm going to do it. I got to do this right. Raph, so what happened was, I'll quickly explain how I got hurt, and then we'll bring on the guest. But unfortunately, Raph, I started back training as we are almost into phase 4 here in New York. There is no exact time date, but we are starting to make our way. So the gyms were opening up. My trainer decided to schedule a meet where he would reevaluate me, and he definitely said he was going to try to help. But while we were running, we were doing some sprinting and jogging. I noticed there was a sharp pain in the back of my leg. At first, I thought I could walk it off, but as I kept going, I just noticed it got worse and worse. So I stopped. I turned around, and my trainer said, "What happened?" So I showed him where it hurt. At first, I didn't think it was bad. He said, "Go home, rest up, put some ice on it, and then see how you feel tomorrow." I woke up the next morning, and it was swollen. So I went to the doctor. We did a CAT scan. It was a grade 2, but it wasn't a tear. It was a grade 2 fractured ligament. Thankfully, though, they said it will take a couple of weeks. So this will be the first week, and then next week will be technically next week will be the first week. But I'm already starting to feel a lot better. The pain's gone away. The swelling's gone down, but I can still feel it when I extend my leg. So I'm going to have to take it easy. So that's why I won't be posting as much videos. However, I do plan to do some live streams to help make up for the time. Tito, I have been considering doing some audio videos. The only difference is just my note. I don't have really anything to edit it, but I could give it a shot. I could do that. And don't worry, guys, I'll be back fast. You know me, I'm a fighter. I'm already starting to feel better. So without further ado, we're 10 minutes in. Whoa! $5 super chat. Thank you, SMT. You know what? Why don't we explain why you gave $5? Because here he is, the SMT. Good to have you on, my man. It's good to see you. It is so good to have you on. I miss seeing you, man. Great stream today. Great everything. Anything you do is great. It's always great. We got Alex in the house. Good to have you on, Alex.
The nation. Yeah.
You know, I remember there was a time when there was that little beef, Alex. I remember all that, but you know what? It's all good. It's water under the bridge. We all good now. We brothers. We all got each other's back. This is YouTube. This ain't preschool, kindergarten where they got crayons up their nose. We're good now.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
so, Sam, I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm only going to be on here for less than an hour. I'm going to try to speed up as I can. So we're going to get right to it now. We're going to spend some time talking about T-Mobile. We're going to spend some time talking about some other side things. I'm only going to spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes max on the side stories because there's not much to talk about unless there really is a cause to talk. But the main story will be T-Mobile. The rundown tonight, guys, we are going to do T-Mobile, Apple, Google, Vivo, Oppo, OnePlus. Yeah, we got the entire tech industry except Huawei because of reasons. But I'll explain why I looked at them. But we also got another guest in the house. We got the man, the legend, Bobby.
Hey.
What's up, Bobby? Welcome for coming on. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Anyway, thank you for moderating as well. I appreciate you doing double duty. I know you're going to be on and watching. All right, so let's do this. Let's get right to it. Now, before we start the show, I am about to debut something that will probably send me into the quantum realm of hatred by anybody that I do this with, but I absolutely don't give a damn. And also, by the way, tonight's episode is rated R, so let's just get it right out the way.
That means we need super chats. So, it's not going to be monetized. You guys are going to have
no monetization. No monetization tonight. I'm having fun with this. If y'all would like to donate, that's up to you. I don't force you to. You do what you want. But we're having fun tonight. I'm speaking my goddamn mind out. So, but monetization, there we go. We just broke it. So,
yeah.
I am introducing a segment that was recommended to me by the SMT. And I was really hesitant to do this because I thought I was going to get into so much problems. And Mikey Tech Reviews, yes, we could start with OnePlus. Absolutely. We will definitely start with OnePlus. I will do that for you.
My mom's right here. Her OnePlus.
Ooh.
Oh, the OnePlus, yeah.
That's a nice one. We got Bob in the building. Yeah. Hey, Bob the Builder.
Hey, how's that?
Can we fix it? I remember that as a kid.
Me too.
All right, guys. So, let me explain what I'm doing. So every once in a while, you run into people. Now, there are some good people on the internet. There are some bad people on the internet. And then there's some dumb people. But the dumb ones can easily be fixed because when you have a good conversation, then something productive happens and you gain a subscriber or a friend. In this case, there are some people that just don't want to be your friend. They just want to judge you, call you names right outside the gate, and literally act like a moron. So I am introducing a segment, and thank you to the SMT for doing this. He does this on Twitter because of reasons also, but I'm doing it for YouTube because I don't give a damn. So I am introducing a segment, thankfully for the SMT again, I like to call Degenerate of the Week. Degenerate of the Week.
How do you spell week? I'm just curious. How did you spell week?
W-E-E-K, or you could put W-E-A-K.
Yeah, we want to.
We're going to go W-E-A-K. We're going week.
Yeah.
And that's on purpose. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you all to the inaugural. You are all the first ones to see it. The inaugural Degenerate of the Week.
Yeah.
So, let us break this down real quick because then we got to start this episode. This man comments 1 year later on a video that I posted way back in my early days. You could see here, 2019, just when I was starting out. I talked about the Apple Watch getting FaceTime and how I did not see that as a practical idea. All of a sudden, this man comes out and says I should ignore the entire video and that it was baffling that I could be against it. Well, then I joked around. I was having a little joke. Also, I like my own comments just because I can. And I was just like, you're a year too late, bud. If you had posted this last year, I would have gave a crap. I have no idea what you're rambling about now. I was just waking up from a nap, and honestly, I didn't care. Then he writes this. Looks like no one really have a care to watch shit initially over a year old with less than 1,000 views, all that good stuff. But then I actually broke it down when I realized the video, and then I tagged him and put hashtag Degenerate of the Week because you are the inaugural. But I'm going to tell you why I made him Degenerate of the Week. Because first of all, it takes a pure idiot to write a comment saying that that's a selling point of an Apple Watch. That's one. Number two, you want to fight with me, that's fine. The only thing you need to be fighting, buddy, is your goddamn self with those goddamn abominations you call playlists. Because I don't know what man in their right mind would make goddamn crap like this. So you need to get your shit straight. And also, you better make sure you stay relevant because you want to talk about views. Your video came out 6 years ago. You have 2.4K views in 6 years. You couldn't even accumulate to 10K. It takes me about maybe 2 days to get 1,000 views on a good video. And of all things, really, that sealed the deal for me. This. So I would like to all welcome you to the official inaugural Degenerate of the Week.
Yeah, Degenerate of the Week. Yeah. Where's the clown music, bro? Clown shoes.
Playing clown shoes. You hear it?
I do.
All right.
Step right up. Get your Degenerate of the Week t-shirt.
Right. Yeah. Now listen, guys. I don't want you all to go finding him in the comments. I don't want you to please go picking a fight. I don't want you all to go finding these people because when I post these things, I urge you all to just be respectful, be civil. Don't mess with them.
You got security here. Ain't nothing happening, bro. We got it. Security. All right. Security is here. Look,
Bob, whenever you want to be added back, give me the thumbs up. I'll add you back in. Whenever you're ready, I will add you in.
But we're gonna start out and everything, bro. I'll be taking up space, sticking up my belly. Look,
and see, everybody likes it, so we're gonna keep this going. So, without further ado, let's run the show. Let's start it up. So, by the request of Mikey Tech Reviews, we're gonna start with OnePlus. So, a few days ago, OnePlus made the big news, and they unveiled the OnePlus Nord. And boy, who could have saw that coming? At this point, I think it's safe to say that they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They know what the fuck they're doing. Why in God's name would you really release the phone on Marcus's podcast? Now, there's a reason why they did this. This was because they want to build hype for the phone, and Marcus has a lot of users on his podcast. Between me and you, he should take a good look at himself in the mirror, Marcus, because he sounded like a dick these days. But in all seriousness, it was a good podcast. I listened to it. I didn't use the monetization. I definitely blocked that shit out because he's not getting a dime out of me. I'm sorry, Marcus. But for real though, I saw it and I was mad at first, but then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? It's actually not terrible because this phone's not even being released in the US. So I'm like, what the hell do I care? But apparently though, there's a rumor going around, according to the Casual Alert Artist of the Week. Apparently the 5G Nord could actually end up coming to the United States. So taking a look at the article, in a recent statement, there was an online pop-up store for pre-orders. People can pre-order the phone, and OnePlus does this commonly. And from what I'm able to tell is that the pop-up was available for other parts of the country, but there was an option saying that America could be in the picture. They were saying at a later date. Now, the specs and everything have been already released because the CEO went on the live stream and just completely dished out pretty much the specs. And for me, I don't care that it's not coming to America. Now, it could be a mistake, but I want to do this quick. I want to get your guys' opinion. The OnePlus Nord 5G. Is it a mistake not to release this phone in America first or wait a little while? What is your take? And go right ahead, but we got to do this fast.
I think it should be released here right away. It's just my opinion. It should be released here.
I mean, there's definitely room for it in the mid-range. That's for sure.
Yes.
I mean, we'd love to see it. You know, if it came in at like $500, that's a nice spot because their flagship is coming in at $699, right? So that probably helps people get into a 5G device on a budget. You know, without having to spend $700, $800, $900 or $1,000.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
The problem is they're very cost sensitive in India, though. Like it's like Bobby, you, myself, like we generated enough money to buy $1,000 phone. Not many people can do that in India. So it's probably crucial for them to get in a phone, sub $500. This is how they would do it.
Mm-hmm. And this phone is rumored to be in the $500 range. It's going to have the latest specs. It'll have a 90 hertz display, punch hole. The whole phone design, everything about the phone was leaked. So if you want to watch it, the only reason I'm not mad is because unlike this device where normally I should care, OnePlus is really, in my opinion, they just do what they want. Because the difference is they're a good company that likes to shake things up. Samsung and other companies, on the other hand, they're a different story. I mean, I'm not being biased either. But I think it's a mistake because if the market has shown anything, the 5G mid-range devices have really started to take flight. the A51, A71 5G, the rumored iPhone coming out next year at the $600 mark that might have 5G. You've got the Google Pixel 4a 5G coming out now that they're actually working on that. And to me, I'm like, there's a lot of potential in the mid-range. I never thought. And by the way, guys, because of my injury, I will be working on the Rise of Mid-Ranges Part 2. So we are definitely going to get back on that. I want to finish that series because everything now will lead into it. But I think they should release the phone. I really think they should. The 765G works with all carriers. It definitely undercuts Vlad. And the best part about the 765G is that the performance speeds of 5G that they claim in America, that is the actual speeds that you'll be able to get right now if you were with a 865G modem. So you're definitely right, and you hit it on the nail, and I agree with that 100%. Tech Loving Mama, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you coming in. Tito's always greeting everybody. So that's the OnePlus Nord. Originally, I really was mad because I said to myself, I'm like, how can they keep leaking this stuff? But then I realized, you know what? It doesn't matter because it's not coming here, so I could care less. And that's just how I feel. But, things could change. Speaking of something that actually might be coming here that is being announced at the same event is the OnePlus Buzz. Now, this is something I've been talking about for a while. They're AirPod-like competitors. But the thing that's making them stand out is that they will be including warp charging in the buds. This will definitely be a big, big factor in terms of your charging because warp charging will allow you to charge the whole earbuds and the case with warp charging in 10 minutes. It's been quoted, it will charge in 10 minutes, and it will not have wireless charging. So you do lose a convenience factor, but you definitely cut down on the price. So I want to ask you guys real quick because then we'll move away from OnePlus. What are your thoughts on the Pixel Buds? I'm sorry, not the Pixel Buds. the OnePlus Buds, they're all confusing. And do you see this being a good factor? And I see we have someone else coming in, so I will add them in. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes, it would, because I would get from my mom's OnePlus 8 for her to listen to, like YouTube, Netflix, all that. That is something I would buy for my mom.
Okay.
What's up, Tech Loving Mama? What's up, Mikey Tech Review? Good to see you guys. Look, people like buying products together. Like if they buy an iPhone, they want the AirPods. If they buy a Galaxy, they're looking at the Galaxy Buds. A Google phone, they want the Pixel Buds. Yeah, I think they're smart to do this. I like the fact that they're going to have this like innovative technology where they can charge them really quickly. What are they talking like 10 minutes and it's going to give them like 3 hours of usage or something like that?
In 10 minutes, it will actually be able to charge the buds up at 50%.
Okay, so probably like 3 or 4 hours then of usage, right?
Yeah. Probably because the buds will have 7 hours of use and 15 hours in the case. No, 30 hours in the case. 30 hours in the case. There we go.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I think people want to group these things together.
Tech Love and Mama. Go ahead.
What are they charging? Any idea on the pricing?
Yes. So the rumored price point at the end of the article symbolizes that they could be potentially under $100, depending on. Wow. But there is a realistic cost. The realistic cost that I've been hearing is around $129, around the original price of the Galaxy Buds. But for me, honestly, I think that they're a good pair of wireless earbuds. I was very critical of them of design, but I've seen they've tweaked it, so it's going to be a lot more unique in its own. And Tech Love and Mama, don't regret that purchase. It is still a good pair of the new OnePlus Buds. They are just as good. They are excellent. They've got good drivers, and trust me, you won't regret purchasing them. That's the way I see it for the Pixel Buds. Oh my God, the Pixel Buds! What am I doing? It's the OnePlus Buds. All right.
Yeah, dude. What's up with you, man?
Calm down. All right. Next story up, we're moving over to Oppo. Now, you'll see why I moved over to Oppo, but we have another guest that's coming onto the show. We got, man, the guru of T-Mobile sales, well, he's not the beard of knowledge, but he's the second bearded dragon, Tim!
What's up, Tim? Yeah.
Heck of an intro there.
I'm sorry. I was put on the spot there, but I will come up with something better. I promise. I promise you that.
That's actually pretty good, honestly.
Oh, all right. Well, we got a good one. So the crew's in. All right. Next story up, the Oppo announcement. So the reason why I'm bringing back Oppo is because there's a lot of innovation that people are not talking about with this company. I, for one, have fallen into that category of just forgetting them. But I think it's important that we talk about them because even though they're not sold in the United States, just like OnePlus, There is a lot of potential with Oppo technology and Oppo phones if they make their way to the US. Excuse me, sorry, stay down, chicken marsala. But taking a look at the news, oh my goodness, I really needed 5 minutes. I'm messing up the names tonight. This
Take
is
your
not
time.
good. Okay, so it turns out Oppo has announced 125-watt tech that can charge your phone in 20 minutes. And it is now
I'm concerned.
officially dubbed.
I'm concerned.
Me too.
I was going to say, because according to The Verge, because we can always trust The Verge with anything, they claim this will be the world's fastest wireless charging, and you completely messed it up, you dumb artist, Sam. How did you mess this up? You know what? If I didn't have my clown makeup effect, I'd put you on casual alert. But you know what? You're still getting casual alert. Get a haircut.
Play the clown music.
So I'll worry about him next time. I'll have the clown stuff ready, but I had no idea he messed this up. Now, basically the breakdown is Oppo has found out a way to use 125 watts of wired charging. This is the actual charger. This will be able to charge your phone, and it turns out the phone unit that they charged was a 4,000 milliamp hour phone battery. It charged it up in 20 minutes, 41% in 5 minutes, and right now it is being dubbed the world's fastest charging on a device. Now, I heard you were concerned, and let me tell you something. Before you tell me why you're concerned, and I will start looking at the live chat, their original fast charging was 65 watts, and that gave you 30 minutes of full charge. Now you're on 125 watts. Let me hear from all of you if this is a good thing, a bad thing, innovation. What in your mind is this?
It's going to burn.
Yeah, it's gonna burn. It'll be a good
I think it's gonna burn too.
It would be a good thing if they had a larger battery like closer to 5,000 or 5,500.
True. Yes. Sam, I see it in your face. What are you concerned about?
It's a lot of heat, bro. Number one, and this would be the best case scenario, would be rapid battery degradation. Let's just put it that way. Worst case scenario would be a fire. These electronics have certain physiological, like physics constraints. They can only take on so much heat, so much charge at once. The materials can't take all that heat on that quickly. So, like lithium ion or a lithium polymer battery, right, it has like a maximum capacity of heat it can handle, and then you get explosions. You get combustive reactions. So count me out of 125 watt charging. I'm not interested in that. I feel like wired charging is probably going to max out around 80 some watts. I really don't trust it past that for lithium batteries. I think this is too much, dude. Too much heat, too fast. God, bro. If it could do it for 10 minutes and not start a fire, I'd be impressed. I wouldn't put it on the charger for more than 5 minutes at 125 watts. 5 minutes, and I'd be watching it.
Same here.
Yeah, I would be watching it and feeling it to make sure it wasn't getting too hot. So I don't know, dude. It's risky business, man. And you think about it, that battery would not last past a few months. No way. That thing would just degrade so fast.
I'm going to say this. I do like the innovation where you could get so much wattage, but I think the concern is that whole 125 watts. The material in the battery, lithium ion, is not a solid. That's a little bit of liquid inside. I've seen the breakdown of lithium ion. And that kind of material, while it can handle so much voltage and so much power, it does not, however, to me, can withstand 125 watts. Now, of course, this is a different scenario in terms of the material and the build of the battery. And also considering that Tesla does use lithium-style batteries, but they have a more denser battery, and it's a little bit more of a thicker material than a gooier material, if you understand where I'm going, Sneed. So there's a difference between Tesla charging their batteries at fast charging, and then there's a difference with this. This is a smartphone we're talking. And for me, while I like the idea that it can charge fast, to me, I agree. I'm a little concerned. I like how it sounds on paper, but execution is something that you really gonna have to take into consideration. But I do like the fact that they already have 65-watt fast charging. That's the fastest they have, and you charge the phone in 30 minutes. So I see nothing wrong with that. So I would see no need to make the jump to 125 watts right away anyway. But also, I forgot to mention, they have 65-watt fast wireless charging. So that will also be into consideration. And listen, at the end of the day, if you want to have an experience of the Galaxy Note 7 again, buy yourself 125 watts and see how long it lasts. That's all I got to say on that. We're going to close in. We got Sean in the house. Thank you for coming on. Nice to have a Nasha, but Tech Love Mama, I use wireless charging on a daily. I'm a daily, but I do it when I go to bed. Preferably, it's more just because my battery just lasts me in the whole day. So I just pop it on the charger and I go to bed. That's really what I do it for. And I usually do it on a slow charge. I turn off the fast wireless charging speeds and I let it charge slow. So that way it doesn't degrade overnight. That's just who I am as a person.
You get your Note 10 Plus to last a full day?
Yeah.
Wow. Not me.
The way I do it is simple. When I need to use it, I use it. When I don't need to use it, I don't use it.
The only time I use wireless charging is when I'm in my truck, my battery's running low, I'll throw it on the pad in my center console to charge up my phone. Yeah. It's the only time I use wireless.
All right, boys, we're almost done. We got 5 more stories, and the main one will be the last and the main one. So, next up, let's talk Vivo. So Vivo, as you know, is another one of those subsidiary companies that works in the house of OnePlus, Oppo. They all kind of are in the same little boat, though they all have different technologies to bring. Right now, there is a phone being released. The X50 flagship is actually being significantly announced because this will be the first Vivo to launch outside of China. It will be launching in India, Russia. It will be launching in other territories that it was not able to launch. Now, India did have it, but not a whole region. They're going to announce the whole thing in India. They're going to release this thing in different regions. Now, of course, they can't release it in America, which is super, super tragic because I actually, for one, like Oppo and Vivo phones, but it's going to have to wait. However, though, taking a look at the phone, it is a very, very nice phone. So at the back of the phone, you have, instead of it being a 4-camera setup, you have a triple camera with that extra lens, technically if you want to call it a 4th lens, but it's designed in a nice way. The specs are top of the line. You got 12 gigs of RAM, 120 hertz display with a 6.6-inch OLED display. The battery life for me is okay, almost shy of 4,500, but I feel like 4,500 should be kind of the norm now. I don't understand why they can't do that, but they have their reasons. They support 44 fast charging, 44 watts to be exact. It will have, however, the Snapdragon 765G. And there is a different version that they're making that will be 90 hertz, and they will all vary in range. Now, the camera layout will be a 48 megapixel. That will be the big one. Then you'll have the telephoto, 5 megapixel macro lens, ultra wide and depth sensor, and the tiniest of them is 7.5 millimeters. So all this wrapped up into a nice little bundle, and OnePlus is definitely going to have some competition because Vivo works in the same house. And this phone, guess how much it costs? I want you guys to guess how much this phone costs.
I would say around 500.
Close. Any other guess? Anybody want to guess? Any guess?
I mean, that's usually how much these phones are that are coming out of these Chinese companies that are trying to compete with Samsung and
the X50, the base X50 with 8 gigs and 128 gigabytes of storage will start at $465. The step-up version will be $500. And then if you want the Pro, the one with the best camera and everything, $665. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's not bad in pricing.
Hello, Gene. Thank you for coming on. For me, I like these phones. I like what Vivo, Oppo, and these companies bring to the table. There's something innovative and there's something different. Now, because they're limited in Asia and also because of what's going on in this country, we necessarily can't have these phones, but I think that's blasphemous. I think we should have these phones, and I would love to experience an Oppo and Vivo phone. And honestly, the only complaint that I have is them turning to Lou from Unbox Therapy. Vivo, do you realize 49% of his viewers are in America? The chances of them getting signal of 5G in America is about the same chances of you seeing Moses on top of the Mount Sinai to see the 10 Commandments. So try to give away your phones to a different YouTuber on a different platform that reaches in goddamn Asia. Not Lou. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be mean, but like seriously, they turned to Unbox Therapy to give away these phones. And I'm like, do you realize most of his audience are from America? And anytime he makes videos that do this, there are more American people in the comment section asking, where can I find this phone? Unbelievable. These companies, eBay.
Yeah.
Go to eBay. Some people just like to buy it in store. But hey, but listen, we're almost done, guys. Let's quickly, got a couple of side stories here. Let's kind of get the one that people really don't like me covering, but the one that generates the most views, I have to be honest, Apple. So this is the only Apple story we have tonight, and then we're going to move right past it. We're going to talk the Apple ARM-based Macs. So again, according to the reliable Verge, because they're so reliable, they claim that the ARM-based Macs will be more like the iPhones than ever before. So basically, in terms of this article and in detail, what I'm understanding, and from what this artist or whoever wrote this article, I really don't know who comes up with this stuff, but basically this is going to be the most optimized Mac you will ever own. Because not only will Apple have a say in the hardware, they will have a say in the software, they will have a say in the optimization, they will have a say in pretty much everything, and it'll feel nice and smooth in terms of the display notifications, in terms of the animations. And honestly, I agree, Pete. Yes, The Verge is right on this one. It is going to be more like an iPhone. It's going to be more restricted. But I will say, the ARM-based Macs, from what I'm seeing, the early benchmark scores, they look really impressive. Even though that's an A12Z, and they're going to bump it up to an A13, A14 whenever they get to that, the performance levels are looking rather interesting. They're actually pretty well. And some of it has actually said that they're increasing performance. They actually have higher scores than Intel CPUs at i7, i5, clocked at 2.5 gigahertz, 3 gigahertz. So my only question to you guys, and then we're going to just toss the Apple out. What do you think, in your opinion, is interesting about the ARM-based Macs, if there is anything for you?
I was listening to Twit TV. If anybody is out there, you listen to that channel. Leo Laporte, and they do the podcast there, and they got the show, and they got a lot of contributors, and they were talking about this story, and a lot of the techies are cool with this idea. They like this actually, because what it does is it mainstreams apps and operations for like iPhones. Like here's what we know. Somebody who operates like an actual desktop for work and productivity, they want it to run a certain way. They're cool with the way it is. But for a lot of consumers that are now starting to utilize most of their computing through mobile, if ARM-based Macs makes it more like an iPhone experience, they're going to get a lot of new customers. A lot of iPhone-type users that normally wouldn't be looking at large computing devices, or I should say just computers. It may bring some new consumers to the market. Maybe people that normally wouldn't have considered a desktop. Maybe now they're looking at Macs,
I need to hold your thought because I have another guest coming on, and Sam, you're going to have to debate this man because fighting out of the red corner, a bearded dragon holding a professional record. 20 wins, 0 losses to the SMT. He stands 2 inches tall, weighing in at 185 and 1/2 pounds. Out of wherever Techfield is presenting the king of raviolis and the bearded dragon himself,
Raviolis.
Peter, the bearded dragon.
That didn't sound a thing like me.
What do you mean, bro? The ravioli gang, 185. Come on, bro.
And also,
I'm 205 and 5'6".
Herb Dean. What do you got to say, Pete? I know you said you wanted to get in this. I added you because I wanted to hear what you got to say.
Yes, the ARM-based Macs will seem faster, and in general, RISC processors, which are reduced instruction set, are faster. I'm not doubting RISC. So yeah, this is better. You saw the beginning of the inevitability of this with Catalina, where they got rid of 32-bit app support.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside to the RISC architecture is it's not 100% instruction compatible with x86-64, which is what up to Mojave was running.
Mm-hmm. Mojave was on there.
Pete, your opinion. Does this bring new customers to the marketplace for Macs?
For the desktops, yes.
That's what I was thinking. I think it brings...
So, starting in Catalina, they started releasing these things called Catalyst apps, which are iPad-developed apps that were ported over to work on the Intel Macs.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of the crossover. They're bringing over because they all run the same platform. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Using the ARM-based Macs, there's no emulation. You can run one-to-one any app file compiled for an iOS device. So you will be seeing the ability, say, on a laptop with a full QWERTY keyboard, the ability to play an iOS game with one of those, BS touch controls on a WAD ASD movement system or whatnot. So people who have been gaming on iOS will enjoy it because they will be able to play the iOS games with most of the time vastly superior controls. Except for, those clicker games.
And that'll be me gaming on computers a lot. I game a lot on my Mac Pro.
Like your iOS action games, you can bust out one of these things on those ARM Macs and just play them the way a game is intended to be played. With a controller. Not,
right.
Man, I can't see where my screen, my thumb's on top of it. You're gonna see rapid app development since the iOS ecosystem for apps is orders of magnitude larger than native macOS. So, in general, it's good. My Raspberry Pi runs miles around some of my lower-end bench computers here, and it has basically the same specs as the lower-end bench computers. So, it's good for Apple, it's good for the consumers, but it won't get me to buy a Mac.
I had to throw that in there.
Hey, if I'm buying a $2,500 laptop, why would I put Raspberry Pi OS on there?
Well, that's what I'm thinking is anybody who's in the market for, like you're going custom. I mean, you're going high-end custom for less than $2,000 on a PC desktop. With a Mac product, you're looking at over $2,000 to get you in there.
No. For the 2000 parity, you're looking around $3,000.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is the machine at 2,500 on a Mac is not going to be as powerful and capable as a custom that you would come in at about 1,300 or 1,500.
My $1,600 production box, with the exception of the ARM processor and the CPU optimized Mac apps, can run miles around it.
Yeah. Yep.
And sorry, Pete, I just wanted to ask you a follow-up question. Because these ARM-based CPUs, because they're Apple CPUs, do you think that as a choice for performers, do you think they'll be creating different variant options of their CPU? So, for example, let's say they do the A13X. than they offer for people that want more performance, the A13Y, or even like more performance, the A13Z, or maybe different variations of the chip, but with better performance for users depending on their usage. Do you think that's a possibility? What do you
No, they're
think
going
of
to be
that?
using iPad Pro chips.
Ooh, iPad Pro trips? Well, considering the iPad Pro does perform, I would say all right, because I've seen the bench scores. But after, the second year, when it goes into its third year, sometimes those bench scores do tend to go down. And it's not a significant drop, but the single core goes down. The multi-core doesn't go down terribly, but it starts to go down. So I don't
Here's
know.
something to remember with like the iPad itself with these chips though.
Hmm.
There's a sensor that determines battery health and how strong it is and how much it can output. One Once the battery starts to degrade, your performance will degrade because it says, "Okay, I'm not going to tax the CPU." Or I'm not. No, the CPU goes on. I can't tax the battery as much as I used to because it may start leaking. So with the desktops, in general, you have a really solid power supply. So if that power supply is connected, you'll always have full throttle on the chip.
That's true.
And we're going to see other performance gains on the chip because these run much colder than those i3s they've been throwing in the MacBook Airs.
Yeah, I don't know one person in anyone I talk to that has an i3 MacBook Air besides them just trying to save money. So
Yeah, they have them to save money, and even if you have the top end MacBook Air, which has an i5 in it, there's a common joke. The MacBook Air has no airflow.
They do. They do. It's. I've had to fix a ton of those devices, bro, and they're a nightmare.
I've heard the Mac itself is so small. There's not enough airflow for the device. That's why they have those heating throttles and all those issues back in the day. I remember they still come around.
Not back in the day. That's a current issue.
And it feels like back in the day. I remember it was the 2017 to 2016, 2018 model. I remember one time somebody tried to fry eggs on one of them.
Right, back in the day is June 2020 if you're going by that standard.
It was a good time back then.
Like, I have a relatively new Apple laptop myself from last year. And if I'm gaming on it, after about a half hour, it gets so hot I cannot keep it on my lap or anything. I can't even touch it. That's how hot it gets.
So, you guys all know the game World of Warcraft, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I made an account on the Mac, played it with a cool pad for all of 15 minutes. Mac overheated, I stopped playing WoW.
Ooh.
I mean, you gotta look at the way they're designed. Look where the fans placed internally and everything else.
Bro,
It's
there are
like
even cooling
there are
the
MacBooks.
CPU.
MacBook Airs don't have fans. Some of them.
Yeah, some of them
None
don't
of them
have.
do.
It depends on what model, but most
That's
of
what I'm
them.
saying. Like it's passively. There's like a port in the back that's supposed to dissipate heat, but there's no active cooling.
There was one model, the MacBook. Remember the first MacBook with one USB-C port? That one had no fan. It had no cooling. It was just what you had in the machine. I think that one had a lot of issues. I remember.
Yeah,
But even the Mac Pros, they have overheating problems, especially if you get the fully spec'd out i9. Forget it.
Wait, so that's like a $2,300 machine, right?
No, that's a $6,000 machine.
Well, base prices around about 4,000, maybe. I don't know. What was the base price for the Mac Pro?
What did you say? MacBook
Pro.
Oh, Pro.
Yeah,
okay.
Pro.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If you get the fully spec'd out i9, 32 gigs of RAM, that thing will overheat and throttle itself down within about 9 minutes.
Yep.
I saw the video.
So you have to use it in a walk-in deli case or something like that.
Nope.
Right?
Put it in your freezer and then turn it on.
Ambient air will not cool it. You need forced air.
Yeah, like my Mac Pro, the tower what I use for gaming. If I don't have my box fan turned all the way up on it, it will overheat within 20 minutes. It'll shut itself down in about 45.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I had one overheating issue from my whole experience with this MacBook Pro. I don't know how I haven't had an issue, but I was editing a video on YouTube, for YouTube. It was a 25-minute review.
Was it in 4K or HD?
4K. When I rendered
That's
it,
probably why.
it was taking longer, and then halfway, it stopped. So then what happened was I felt the thing, it was too damn hot, so I had to stop what I was doing. I just had to like do it the next day, render the video the next day when it cooled down, and it rendered better the next day. So I definitely, that was a first for me because I edit all my videos in 4K, and now that I'm getting Final Cut Pro, I'll probably be trying to introduce maybe a little bit of HDR to some of the reviews depending on what it is. But
Nice, dude.
hey, I see
So-
it firsthand.
I run a Linux box with a AMD R430, a i7 7740X, and 32 gigs of RAM. I render 4K HDR without thermal throttling, and I can even do live streams while doing it.
Linux is a good OS in general. They're a very open platform, and I've seen what they can do. My uncle uses it for servers when he runs Plex. I don't know if you've heard of Plex. So he
Yep,
hosts.
it's a
Yeah.
media server.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he uses Linux. He uses a desktop that runs Linux OS, Linux OS, and he runs the server. So all the movies, everything, and he can monitor it. And he uses that only for Plex for TV shows. So that's how we get everything 24/7.
I have it installed on all the servers I work with. It just doesn't fail.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't fail. Well, hopefully this whole thing with Apple, let's see what happens in the future. I'm going to definitely be looking to you, Pete, when it comes to these things with the Mac.
I like the prospects. I just hope my Hackintoshes don't become obsolete.
What year are they from, Pete?
Well, I've only ever gone up to Mojave. I have too many 32-bit apps on there.
Yeah, Mojave, I don't know. Mojave for me was an okay experience, but this new one that they released,
Big
Catalina, no, whatever it was, Catalina, or I think it
Sur-
was
Catalina, yep.
trash.
The one that got rid of 32-bit support.
Was trash.
You were
Bugging out
pissed,
every
weren't you,
day.
Pete?
Yeah, I also got annoyed about the amount of apps that were just ported over from the iPad.
And they weren't even optimized too. They had to like take a couple of days before, or a couple of updates before they finally had its own.
Yep.
hmm The one thing I'm going to say is everything looks good on paper, but at the end of the day, if you can't make a keyboard that functions, I have no faith.
It's true,
How-
bro.
It's true,
It's
though.
Innovate the keyboard by making it fail for a class action lawsuit.
Bro, the butterfly keyboards were so bad. I think a lot of people just stayed away from those machines. Therefore, after like, they're just like, no, dude, the keyboards suck. It's not a good experience.
Why would I buy a system with a keyboard that makes it so I need to get a Bluetooth keyboard?
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. Matter of fact, my Bluetooth keyboard is right over here, just waiting for me when I'm done.
I have 3 Bluetooth keyboards. Let the living daylights out of them.
Oh dear.
I mainly use them for my laptops and tablets. Or not my laptops, my cell phone and tablets.
Oh, that's actually the first. I never heard anyone that uses it for their laptop. Oh, no, sorry,
Yeah,
phone,
man.
phone.
Phone, yeah. Sometimes I have to type an email, and if it's longer than a few lines, bust out the Bluetooth keyboard and go typing.
That's a good
I'm
way
so
to do
lazy. I just use the Google Assistant to type my email for me.
it. All right, we gotta wrap this up. We got the last
Yep.
story, the main one. So I dropped 2 stories because we're running out of time. I gotta start getting ready because tomorrow I'm actually heading out, but I also gotta wrap my leg up for tomorrow. So we're gonna get to the main story now. I think you all know where we're going. The T-Mobile so-called UnCarrier
Oh.
announcement. So before anybody, before
Yeah.
anyone says anything, let me just break it down to people that have no idea what happened. I'm gonna do this as best I can with before I go rated R. I already went rated R. But before I go really ballistic, let me just explain what happened. So today, T-Mobile had an announcement that starting on July 24th, that they are going to start working on a new so-called experience with security called Scam Shield. Fewer calls, period. So the breakdown of it is you will be able to control how you monitor your scams. So it will have an app that will be available on the 24th of July. It will allow you to block out all the scam calls. You can technically take advantage of it now by texting hashtag 6. What was the number? Somebody
662
pound.
662 pound or hashtag for my generation. They claim this will be machine learning AI intelligence to help stay ahead of the camera. Built-in protection, of course.
Yeah, there's some Google stealers right there.
So, I've got to say one thing with this. If you read the fine print, it says some legitimate calls may be dropped.
That's not good.
Well, the FCC, in their decree, got rid of carrier liability from doing that.
Mm-hmm. I heard
that's an FCC feature.
Right. That's the FCC basically gave them the green light to make mistakes and filter out good calls.
Well, moving.
Verizon and AT&T also have the same
sure. Yeah.
impetus.
Now, there is a couple things I want to point out, and then we'll start the table. I'll start with Pete, then we'll start with Tim, Bob, Sam, and then we'll cap it off with me.
Don't start with Pete. I'm telling you right now, don't start with Pete.
Don't start with Pete.
Okay,
start with Pete, he's going to calm us all down.
Let's go the other way around. I'm going to start, and Sam's going to start, and Bob's going to start, and Tim, and then Pete, you'll go last. That fair?
Perfect.
That fair? Okay, so let's start this up. So, before I say the negatives, or not really negatives in the sense that this is bad, let me just say I appreciate that they are taking into consideration the security aspect. I appreciate that for the consumer benefit. I want to just point that out. That's one.
God.
However, though, I have a problem with this. See, first of all, this isn't an UnCarrier move. This is not something that I would define UnCarrier. UnCarrier is something that you do that not other carriers are doing. Everything that they did here is something that I haven't seen, anyone not doing. As a matter of fact, if I go into my phone right now, if I pull up on the Samsung mobile phone app and I go to settings, I have an option to already block out the spam calls, and I already have VPNs and et cetera, things like that. So I don't understand how this is UnCarrier. And this event to me felt like a waste of time. This felt more like a publicity for things that are actually scheduled to come, because next month they have newer plans to be announced. They have a couple things. The reason why I believe they did this, and I honestly believe this in my whole goddamn heart, they did this because the FCC had to make them do it. Today they had to mandate. They had to mandate it today. So T-Mobile was like, "Fuck it, we got to just say something. Let's see how we can market this. Let's just dump millions of dollars into this promotion, so that way we don't have to spend anything on our goddamn cellular towers," which is a complete waste of money. Now, listen, I'm not going to say what they should do with their money. It's their money, not mine. But I'm going to tell you right now, well, yeah, you know what? It is my money. I don't have to pay it. Hey, cut the bill. I'm not paying anymore. But I don't understand how this is considered UnCarrier. And I don't know how people can actually believe this. There are people on their Twitter. If we go on their Twitter page right now, there are people that are defending this and say this is the best thing that a carrier has ever done. They're saying this is the best free service you can get. I'm like, y'all realize they charge $7 more to get your goddamn protection. What the hell are you talking about? Are you fucking kidding me? This is the best move from a carrier? Are you kidding me? From a carrier that merged with Sprint, can't even handle 1 million customers merging. They couldn't even get the cellular towers on handle. They want to focus on scam shields. They want to focus on making a logo look like a pointed top of a pentagon. Are you actually joking me right now? How the hell is this UnCarrier? This is not UnCarrier. You know what this is? And I'm laughing because this is funny. This is what I like to call publicity at its finest. The people will see this, they will eat it, and they're going to say, oh, you know what? They're giving me more value. This isn't value. This is something you should have on day fucking one when you get a cellular plan. This is not something that should be announced.
Yeah.
You have to be able to give this to your consumer from day motherfucking one.
Yeah.
Not day number 322 of your cellular goddamn plan.
Yeah.
And it's bad enough you're raising money. So to me, I'm going to end it because I'm just going to keep going. This is a joke. This is not UnCarrier. This is just a publicity stunt for things to come later on. And in my opinion, this should not have wasted an hour of people's time. This thing should have been released on a website refresh. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
It's complete fuckery on their part.
And also, I just broke the microphone on my AirPod Pro for the wireless charging. It couldn't cancel out my goddamn loud voice.
Look, man. Hey, if I'm going to be totally honest about this, it's like if I told Yasmin, you can't eat any candy before you eat dinner. She finds a piece of chocolate and she eats it. I said, Yasmin, I told you no candy before dinner. She said, no, this is not candy. This is chocolate. It's splitting hairs. So, like, is this really an UnCarrier move? Let's backtrack about 7 years ago. They got rid of data caps. They brought unlimited plans. They got rid of the contract, right? No more stuck to, a 2-year agreement on service. They brought Netflix on us. They brought Binge on us. Free music streaming didn't count against your data. Back when they had like the buckets and stuff like that, the shared buckets. Everything that they addressed with the UnCarrier moves was always addressing something big that bothered wireless consumers. This is a big thing. In and of itself, dealing with robocalls and spam is a phenomenal thing. But it was mandated by the FCC. What they're doing is not that much above and beyond any other carrier. Everything Mike Sievert named off today is included in my Verizon postpaid bill on my plan. It's included.
Most of it's included on your T-Mobile bill.
Right. And so my line that I have with P on his account has had most of these things. Now they're basically saying we're going to include it in all plans that are Magenta Plus and Essential. They're going to have X feet. They have what was it, like 4 or 5 different features?
Yeah, the proxy number and a couple of other things.
Okay. But they also, in a way, the higher end stuff is still you have to pay.
Yeah.
They have a couple of premium things, and then only a certain couple of plans have certain things. So they didn't really UnCarrier it all the way. They kept some people out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think it's a reach to call this an UnCarrier, knowing that they already had it, and a lot of other carriers have it already. In fact, most plans are including most of these things. To me, it's not really an UnCarrier. It's disingenuous to call this UnCarrier. It really is.
It's a scam.
I can make 3 arguments that'll prove that this is not UnCarrier. And I don't think you can make 3 arguments that you could prove that it is UnCarrier.
No, you can't.
One, in that now they're giving it to prepaid customers on Metro. Because they're gonna utilize some of these protections on the core of the network, which means anybody connected to the network has certain protections.
Even low-end plans.
Right. That's to me, that's really the only UnCarrier thing is they're giving it to Sprint customers, T-Mobile customers, and now it's still going to go to Boost customers because they're operating on the T-Mobile network. T-Mobile. To me, that's the UnCarrier piece. The rest of it is not UnCarrier, in my opinion.
Legacy plans too, which is also pretty UnCarrier.
Yeah,
because it's, as you said, network. I think it's Tim's turn.
Like I said, it's mandated by the FCC. Go ahead.
Yeah,
but this is something what every other carrier has been doing in the past, like what Sam said. It's completely stupid that they're going to say, "Oh, we're going to charge you for other features if you want them." The UnCarrier move is saying we're going to give you these features free of cost. And what they should have done is, listen, we're turning on Sprint towers for all T-Mobile users to use in areas where we don't have service. That's an UnCarrier move. What they did was just complete fuckery on their part of something what everyone else has been doing for years in the past.
Tim, I have to ask you, what's innovative about this?
From my point of view, nothing.
So that's what I'm saying is every UnCarrier move up to this point has been innovative. Do you agree?
For the most part, yeah. It's either been an actual customer pain point or it was a pro bono like the Netflix on Us. That was just a nice promotional thing. Binge On, that hit a major pain point. Everyone was hitting their data caps.
I loved Binge
So
On.
what does T-Mobile do? They remove streaming services so you can stream YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, and all of that and count against your monthly data cap. That's an UnCarrier move. Taxes and fees included was an UnCarrier move.
I agree.
And there's so many others that we didn't even talk about, like Music Freedom and all the rest of the olden days when John first came aboard.
Flight Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I wanna point out something to you guys, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong in saying this. But when you guys watched the event itself, did y'all notice how fake and how unreal that felt? Like that event felt so scripted. It was terrible. Now I get it. There were times in John Ledger's videos when some of it may have been scripted, but that man knew how to talk. That man was a genius behind the camera.
The one thing I will say, as soon as the video started and they rolled into basically enhanced caller ID and spam blocking, I'm like, well, this is the most disappointing thing I've heard today.
Yeah.
Caleb even told me,
Yeah, dude. It's
the best one was when John rolled out Netflix on Us, and he just came out. The poster or the backward drop fell behind him with the mic drop, and he just walked off.
That's it. Yeah, that's all you need to say. Just give Netflix for free. And a lot of people were expecting a little bit more from this event. Sam, you were speculating. There were people speculating. Now, obviously, people know things better than we do, and we know a couple people that do. But there were a lot more people from a consumer's point of view, from like average users. They were expecting a little bit more in terms of network performance. They were hoping for an update on pricing with their plans. Now, there is a scheduled event for August, or they're going to announce something in August. I believe, Sam, you mentioned that they're going to talk about the plans. But they were expecting some other things, maybe T-Vision. They were expecting maybe a little bit update on the merger in terms of when Sprint customers can get a full, transition into the network. Unless it's already been done now. But there were a lot more expectations built. And I tell people all the goddamn time, do not set your expectations up to here. If anything, you should be setting them down here, below your dick waist. Because if you set it any higher...
that's what I did.
You see, Pete? You're smart. Good job, Pete.
Like, as a consumer myself of T-Mobile, I was hoping... as a consumer, I was hoping that I can get full access to the Sprint network being a T-Mobile consumer, so I can have areas where Sprint has service but T-Mobile doesn't, where I can have access and cell service in those areas.
That's not going to happen until they add T-Mobile gear to Sprint stuff and actually swap out the base stations.
Yeah, I understand that. I know that, Tim. I know that, but I'm saying from the consumer side, I was hoping that they would say, yeah, we added this, turn it on. But from the tech side, from following the community here, I knew they were not going to do it.
Yeah. I think people are looking for more. People are disappointed, man.
Yeah.
I was honestly hoping something to do with financing.
Yeah, a lot of people were hoping on that. There were some people saying that they would like a better way of when you finance your phone, credit score, or payment history, something like that. Because a lot of these carriers, some of them don't do your credit score as much anymore. They're based off of For example, Carlos, he was on your live stream and he talked about how he went into an AT&T store and they did it so much easier than what T-Mobile does. So that, again, it goes back to what I said. There were a lot more people that really wanted something better, and what we got here felt more like a publicity stunt to me than really an actual. Now, I agree. I agree with you guys. This is a real deal. Scam calls are a real thing. That's the truth. This is a serious thing. But to say it's UnCarrier and to literally invest money into a marketing gimmick and to really dump so much time and energy when you can use that time and energy and money into better things like your network towers and making the reception better, to me, that's a missed opportunity. That's a wasted opportunity. And I'm very disappointed in T-Mobile for going this route. And what upset me the most about the event was Mike Seaver. This was his chance to address the public as the CEO, show him as a person. And, we didn't see anything. People say, oh, he was being himself. He was being truth. No, he wasn't. He was being a PR stunt. That's not what you call being a real CEO.
Hey, I think the entire thing was a PR thing.
No, the whole thing was a PR. But what made it worse was when he got that lawyer at the Q&A session to say, oh, we are not obligated. Like, dude, just don't talk about it.
Hey, I got to ask you guys these two things. And the first thing is just yes or no. Actually, no, both I could do yes or no. Yes or no, this was the worst UnCarrier move ever.
Yes.
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 Pete?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yes or no?
I don't remember all of them.
Okay, well, I don't know. Look up the list, bro. I'm telling you, this one's the worst. All right, next one, and this is also yes or
one
no.
of the most underwhelming.
The days of real UnCarrier moves are gone. There's nothing left to innovate that they can actually legitimately do.
There's plenty more they can innovate. They're just not going to do it.
They'll do the Apple method.
What is that, Pete? The Apple method.
They'll do stuff, say they're innovating, and some people will say yes, and some people do like they're full of, you know what?
Full of malarkey.
Yeah.
Selling wolf tickets.
Yeah, the Apple method.
I will say this. There is one thing I will say. The one thing that they might be able to innovate on might be that T-Vision, the way they present it, but I don't see that really being an UnCarrier. The only way it could be UnCarrier is if they undercut the performance and undercut the competition. But even then, you got these fees to sign up with Disney and Viacom, and to me, I don't see that panning out as UnCarrier, unless, of course, you were able to make it somehow data free when you watch it on your phone, like AT&T. Although a lot of people argue that. Who knows? I really, I don't know.
Although data free would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but I had T-Vision for about a few weeks, I would say. It was horrible to the point where I returned it.
Ooh. I know, Pete, you have it. I know you have it, Pete.
I've had it for years.
When I say horrible, I have fiber internet from AT&T hooked up to my house. Gig up, gig down speeds. Plenty enough speed to handle a streaming service. It froze nonstop on me, the T-Vision. And I had a Cat 7 line, ran to it, hardwired to my actual modem, and it kept freezing.
Right.
I've never had it freeze.
Yeah, but Pete, you're using the refined product in layer 3 TV.
He was also using fiber optic gigabit connection.
No, you were using the OG product, layer 3 TV.
Oh.
So yours is much more optimized. You get what I'm saying? Like yours is tried and true.
That was like the OG thing. That was like the original before it was layered over with T-Vision marketing.
It's still layered and plastered with T-Vision.
All right. Well, I know your experience has been really good, Pete. You speak highly of it. You recommend it. And I know they've treated you good. And
yeah, it's been a real positive experience.
My experience, I've been having a better experience with my HD antenna in my window than T-Vision.
I must say one thing though, they did get rid of my local Fox affiliate, but
Dude, everybody lost that.
Yeah, everybody.
but my antenna works fine.
Nice.
And actually, it looks better than what Fox was giving them. So,
Hey, I'm sorry, guys, but we're almost out of time. We've only got to do one last question, round table, finish up the show, and then we'll end it from there. The last question I want to ask you guys is, where does T-Mobile go from here, in your opinion? Because there have been a lot of problems going on behind the scenes that we've been discussing, from removing the team of experts to now this, and really just where do they go from here? So I'm going to start with Tim, then I'm going to let Sneed, Bob, Pete, and then I'll just end it from there. I'll let you guys take the wheel. You guys decide what, in your opinion, could T-Mobile do to really kind of get back to that UnCarrier, because as of now, they're not UnCarrier. I'm sorry, they're just not. In my eyes, in my view, they're not. But what could they do, in your opinion, if there's anything you should see? So I want to start with Tim. Go ahead.
They're going to have to get back to putting the customer as number one. Obviously, that is changing. It is all about profitability, making money, and that's pretty much it. That's the main focus. That's the main drive. That's the drive of all retail stores now. It's not assisting customers, customer service, or any of that. It is all about what can we get you to buy. And that's all they care about. I mean, I've literally had instructions in the last 2 weeks. If they're not buying, ask them to leave.
Dang.
That's where we're at now.
Which means you have to be rude.
Yeah, they're using their excuse of, oh, it's COVID. We need to minimize exposure and all this, that, and the other. But it's not. It's just the direction that T-Mobile's moving forward with. As I said, I really wish this UnCarrier event would have been something with financing. That's the biggest pain point there is. And if the Note or the Note 20, if the rumors are true and that sucker comes in at $1,400, very few people are going to want to put $500+ down on a phone.
Yeah, it puts it at about what, 600-700, possibly.
Yep.
Down payment.
That's just what I'm seeing or what I'm dealing with in the retail side. Not to mention, unfortunately, a bunch more layoffs just happened today, and that's just the trend.
One thing after another, bro.
Yeah, that's the sad reality. That's the sad reality.
Yeah. Now, in my opinion, like what Tim was saying, I need better customer service. I already had reps flat out lie to me before, saying that, oh, we're going to expand the network in the areas where we don't have coverage. Like, I have family where the closest tower is 80 miles away for T-Mobile. I had already reps say, yeah, we're building a tower there within a month. I go there a few months later, visit family, and there's no service still. So they need to work on their network too, and being truthful with their customer. Instead of sitting there saying, yeah, we're going to do this, and nothing happens.
I doubt there is, but if there's anyone on here from customer care or team of experts, whatever you want to call it, there's nothing wrong with telling somebody you don't know. Don't make something up.
Yeah.
No, the tower by my house, I can actually see it out my window. I had a rep flat out tell me there's somebody right now working on the tower and replacing antennas with upgraded antennas. I took a picture out my window. I was like, there's nobody there. This rep actually ended on T-Force, ended the chat when I showed a picture and said that. Didn't say a word, just ended the chat.
I do wish people said I don't know more often.
Yes, I'd rather have that than so if I say, yeah, there's somebody right now on your tower working on it. Then when I take a picture saying, look, nobody's there because I can see the tower from my house.
At least when they say, I don't know, your expectation for the answer has been set correctly.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, so this is the way I handle it for me in my store with my team. And when a customer asks me something and I realistically don't know, is, well, I apologize. I personally don't know, but let me make a couple phone calls. Let me see if I can find out.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody can get pissed at you for that.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
tried.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my biggest complaint with T-Mobile is the lack of how they lie to me and they just not upgrading the network at all.
At least the markets you encounter.
Yes.
Which, for everyone, if they're not upgrading their market, that's a pain in the ass. And
Hey, technically what I posted today in our Twitter DM was an upgrade. I posted some. I know none of y'all are in there, but posted a screenshot. So I unplugged the cellular booster that's in my store and did a comparison of Verizon and T-Mobile on low band. So I had 5 megahertz of Verizon's band 5, 850 megahertz, and 10 megahertz of T-Mobile's band 71. So before,
hey, at least T-Mobile 71 penetrated your building.
71, it held constant. I can't knock it. It was fluctuated between 127 and 124 dBm. I could make a phone call on it, but that was about it. Verizon's, as soon as I walked away from my window, I lost service.
I've actually, to be honest with you, I guess I'm kind of on the fence. Like, what could they do to, like, you know, I agree with the representative thing, because I'll be honest with you guys, the representative status, as of my experience, has gone down really bad. Currently, we're actually in a debate with T-Mobile. We are actually in a very, very bad situation. So my mom did a $300 trade-in for the phone to get the new S20. She did the promotion, and it's been almost 4 months, and we're still fighting them to give her the $300. It just, they do not want to give her $300. She had to go back to the store. The guy filled out a form saying give her the money. I approved the trade-in and stuff. They still didn't give it, so we're gonna have to find out what's happening. So I really kind of wish they took care, you know, of their long-term customers a little bit better.
They filled out an escalation form stack.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. They did that.
Technically, the only thing they have to do is make one phone call, and that'd be fixed within 24 hours.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe Tim, maybe you could help me. We'll see what happens. We'll talk after.
Okay.
Awesome. Ooh, we got a $5 super chat. We got a super sticker.
Yeah, super chat stickers. Yeah.
We got Maverick in the house. We got Carlos.
Yeah, what up, Carlos? What's happening, bruh?
You can't see that, but we appreciate it. Maverick, how you doing? All right. Well, actually, you know what, guys? That is about it for tonight. That's it. I wanted to go a little longer, but unfortunately, I have to get ready and I have to start doing some prep. So that's it, guys. That is it for the live stream. Before we end the show, I just want to take this time to do something at the end of the video. I always do with my live streams. No worries, Carlos. You can watch it on replay. Hopefully, we'll have you on soon again. We'll definitely like to catch you on. But listen, take care, everybody. Before we do, I have some quick announcements I want to announce. If you appreciate what the channel offers, you're going to want to support your favorite wireless connector or maybe tech news radar. Definitely support the channel on Patreon. I am working on creating a Patreon account, so hopefully you guys can get in. We got a tier. I'm only going to make the max $5. I don't want you guys spending too much on me. $1 is more than enough. It will help grow the channel. Also, join the Patreon crew. Become a patron. Shout out all the Patreons currently, except my name's not on the goddamn Patreon list, Sneed.
It's not?
I'm not on the Patreon list. But also, if you missed a live stream, no worries.
Mike, it doesn't say Technoid. That's all.
Oh, okay. Make sure you connect with me on Discord. You get the discussions with the SMT Nation. Follow me on Twitter at SteveMobileTech. Sponsors, Megalodon.net is the social media of the future. Never need to change platforms again. Support me and take control of your social media with Megalodon.net. No ads tracking, no algorithms. And that is it for our live stream.
Yeah,
I basically just ripped off. I just ripped off your goddamn outro.
I think you took that one from Sneed.
But I will say this: I am working on creating a Patreon. As we get a little bigger, as we approach 2,000 subscribers, I will then create a Patreon where you guys can get early access to early content. I will have things like Sam, what you do, but we will only do that when we get to 2,000 subs. But I want to announce that today. But I want to thank each and every one of you all for watching me. I want to appreciate each and every one of you guys. I want to thank Sam for taking the time out. I want to thank Bob for taking the time out. Pete, thank you for coming on, helping us out. I really appreciate you spending your time with us. Tim, as always, it is a privilege to have you on. It is also a privilege to have each and every one of you, my live chat crew. If you made it at the end of this video, hashtag no regrets.
No regrets.
Of the week.
What's a regret?
No regrets. Regrets. Remember, guys, degenerate of the week is a thing. No regrets. Hashtag no regrets. So take care, everyone. I hope you all have a safe weekend. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for an amazing chat. And
I hope your foot gets better.
Thank you, Pete. And
Peace.
Peace.